So what we will be doing is, so we will start with the basic theory for this financial accounting. So as a part of this training, it is not only kind of a theoretical one, it will be kind of a practical. So what I will be doing is, I will be setting up you will also receive the access for the SAP system, so that you will be also able to practice like whatever the stuff, like the thing that I will be training through, going with you with the basics first. So I think this has been already something which I think those who were present at the demo class, they went through, but I wanted to just cover this with you so that at least you are thorough with some of the basic stuff which we need to know for going into the SAP FICO module. So first of all, well, like we are studying two modules basically, which is one is SAP FI Financial Accounting, and the other one is Controlling, which is CO. So the FI deals with anything which is concerned with the external reporting, like we generating your financial statements, like balance sheet, cash flow, income statement. So all those things we do in the FI. And the part of the CO is basically management accounting, so that it's basically kind of more analysis of how, like where actually you are entering this cost, like analyzing the profitability of a particular product, the analyzing the cost which is involved to manufacture a unit cost of the product, what will be the optimum volume for manufacturing this particular product. All this decision making stuff which are required are done as a part of your CO module. So we have two modules distinct which we will be studying, although they are distinct, but they are very closely integrated with each other. Okay. So, as we understand, like since FI is concerned with the account, like external reporting, so it follows the basic principle of the accounting, which is like recording the transaction, maintaining the financial stress transaction, and reporting them on a daily basis, and to generate our financial statements, definitely. So we have a very integrated data flow in FI, and also as we have like right, like in finance also we have the ledgers and the sub ledgers. So similarly in our FI module also we have the ledgers, like the general ledger is there, and also the sub ledgers like accounts payable ledger, accounts receivable ledger, asset accounting, bank accounting. So and there we will also see there are other modules as well, like for example, we will be covering a little bit more on the taxation as well, and also we have like a fair bit of details in the bank accounting, asset accounting, which we will be going through during our course. So once you do this course, the objective will be you will be able to handle like the different scenarios that you may have for configuration, and at the same time you will be also prepared for your certification exam for this SAP Finance. So that is my main objectives, like and so I will be also giving you some kind of assignments like after we complete a set of topics, so that it does kind of evaluate how much you have learned from the sessions. Okay. So then, yeah, so same way. So as in FI, we cover this modules like GL, AP, AR, bank accounting, asset accounting. And then similarly in CO, we will be also covering cost center accounting, product costing, profit center accounting, profitability analysis in quite detail. So as we have seen from the course content that you have over here. So let's get started with the first topic, which is basically we will be starting with the basic theory for the financial accounting. Okay, so when you see any annual statements, right, it is generated for some entity, correct? Right. So how do you define, like, what is the minimum kind of organization structure which is required in your like for an organization? This is known as the company code. Okay, so this is like we generate all our financial statements, like the mandatory we must generate it for our company code. And let's get started with the first definition. Like if you want to start defining a company code, what are the things that we need to know? Okay, so let's say we are defining a company code, right? So how do we define? So first of all, this is the first screen that you will see in SAP. Okay, and for your login, right, you will have the, like when you receive the instruction, right, you will receive the instructions to set up your application server as follows. So you will be setting it up like, so this is the SAP application which you will access, and you need to give all the settings for there so that it will set it up for you. So this is known as the front end, which is the SAP GUI, which is known as the presentation server also. So now when you log in, right, there will be something which is known as a client number. So this is the designated client number which will be given to you. So we will talk more about this as well when we go through the some more topics as we like during the course of our training. So then what you need to do is you need to give a username and password. Okay. So now let's say I want to log in. I need to input the username and password for this. So as you can see, it is already like for example, I have already logged in into some particular session, right? So you have an option, either you can continue with this login and end any other logons which are available, or you can terminate this particular login. So let's say I will continue with this particular login. So as you can see, it closes the other session that we have. So this screen, right, this is known as the SAP Easy Access screen. So this is the first screen that you will be seeing whenever you open SAP. So in this, right, if let's say like the thing that we wanted to do is, first we wanted to set up our system so that we can do all our kind of financial entries. So first we'll set up our organization, which is the company code. So for that, right, the first step is SPRO, which is the SAP reference guide. So SAP is a very kind of intuitive system where already the steps to configure some like the stuff that we need is provided in a central place, which is known as the SPRO. So under this, right, what we will be doing is we'll start off with the first thing, which is setting up for our enterprise structure. Okay, so now if you want to see, so the thing that you can enter here, right, to access any T code, that is known as the transaction code. Okay, so for getting the transaction code, right, you can click on the additional information here. Okay, and in the display queue, you can display the IMG activity, which will tell you the transaction code. For example, creating the company code, it is OX02. So if I try to open a new session over here, and I click on OX02, so here you will be able to configure your new company code at this place. So let's see how it opens when we do it from here. So, okay, so this is what you see over here. So you have an option. So you can see these are all the entity codes which are available in the current system. So let's say I want to configure a new entity and I give it this name. So let's say I give this name US 01. Oh, it is already there. So okay, so we'll set up one entity, let's say in US. So we'll set up one entity US 11. Okay, so this is my okay. So let's say it's located in New York, and the country is what, US, right? And the currency is USD. Okay, so this is what I define, and I save this. So this is my first step. So I'm trying to define this company code. So then for any company code, like you will have like some office, so you need to maintain the address over here. So let's maintain it right now. I'm just giving kind of identifier over here. Okay, just giving time since it's a test entity, so I'm just giving some identifiers so that we can proceed ahead with it. So whenever we try to save something, right? So in SAP, right, we have this concept of three boxes. So what happens is when we do any configuration, we do it in the development box. Okay, then we move our changes to something which is known as the QA, and the final box is production. Why? Because SAP, right, we always follow kind of a methodology which is known as the SAP methodology. Okay, so what does this methodology mean? So it means, right, so first step is so whenever you do any project, right, first step will be your requirement gathering. Okay, so basically in this you meet with the like first you kickstart this project, so and then you identify which are the users from which like who will be providing you the inputs for this particular project, and then you start with this activity of requirement gathering, so from business users, right? Based on the requirement which you have gathered, right, there is kind of a document which you prepare, which is known as the business blueprint. So basically, the documentation of the requirement gathering is done in a more structured way in the document which is known as the business blueprint. And then, right, then you start based on the business blueprint, you start your configuration. So this is what we are doing at this moment. So we have started creating the configuration in our system. So let's say we have a new entity which is required in the country US, which we are trying to configure. So this is the realization step that we are doing. Okay. And in the next step, what we will be doing is, so will be the user testing. Okay, so once you do the realization, you do some unit testing or system integration test, and then the user testing is done in one of the box which is known as the QA. Okay, so this is the kind of like whatever the based on the business requirement, whatever you have configured, you ask the business users to test whether it is working as per your requirement or not. And once they're happy with this, right, then you have the step of like go live. So which means, right, whatever be the changes which you have done, right, it gets moved to the production system. Okay, so these 5 steps are clear, right, with you? No, it is a universal code. So whether it be kind of even it will be a S4HANA system, the code will remain the same. Whether it is like with the different boxes, also the codes, the transaction code will remain the same.
Oh.
So these are the SAP transactions code. So what I have done here also is I will be going through the slides as well, and you will have kind of a consolidated document where you will find all the T codes that we are going through. So at any point of time, right, if you like for this in the slide you have a bit more detail, but here you have kind of a menu path how you can navigate through this, and also the steps of the config, which is clearly defined. Okay, so to define, so basically, in order to get any kind of, in order to set up, like to get any financial statement, the first thing that we would need is basically yeah, I will mention the financial accounting basic settings, general settings. Okay. So I have just saved this customizing request. So what happens is once you save this entry, it gets saved in the development box, and then you can move your changes to the QA box, and then you can move the changes to the PRT. So for us, right, we only are using one box for our training because it is used for kind of demonstration purpose and to train you. So we are not having multiple maybe application servers through which we need to go, but we will be only using this particular server for or doing all our demonstration. Okay, so the first step is what? Creation of the company code, which is this step. So we have defined kind of the company code, which is a 4-character alphanumeric key. So where we need to specify what is the name of the company that we have, in which city it is located, which country it is located, what currency does it use, so, and then basically what will be the language of communication, what is the address, all those things you define in a company code. Okay, so all this fields which are mentioned over here are very significant because they have some meaning. So basically, whenever you mention country, that means the particular this particular entity might be kind of listed in that particular country, or maybe it needs to generate the accounting statement, which need to be reviewed, which need to follow the country regulations of that country where it is established in. It also needs to report in that currency for that particular country, so which is known as a functional currency for the company code. And the language and the address denotes, as you can understand, where, like, let's say if I have an organization, let's say Microsoft, so there is one office of Microsoft in I think in India, in Hyderabad, right? So there is the office of Microsoft. So if you want to set up, if you want to generate any financial statements for Microsoft, what you need to do is you need to set up the company code for Microsoft, where you will tell that this is the company name, this is the city, let's say, where it is located. Then you have the country, then you have the currency as INR, then the language will be English, and then the address will be the place where the country is, the company code is located. Okay. Apart from that, what we'll be also going through is we'll be also going through the global parameters which will be defined for our company code. So we'll come to that one by one. Okay. So the next thing which I wanted to show to you is basically a company code always follows a variant principle. So what does this variant principle mean? So basically that means, right, we will be creating some variants which will be assigning to the company code. For example, if my company code is in India, right? So it can follow the financial year April to March, correct? So that I need to define. So that financial year variant I need to assign to my company code. Okay. Same way we can have some posting periods. So how many posting periods do you need? So do you do the posting every month? Like, for example, do you and then like what are the fields that are required for the posting? We will see under the field status variant. So we will see this like in SAP, right? This particular concept we will use very often, which is known as the variant principle. So where it is kind of a method that we'll be using where we first define the variant, then we specify some characteristics or values for this variant, and then we assign the variants to the object. So, so that is what we will be doing at the moment. So let's go ahead with this step. Okay. So there is few organization structures which are required. I will come back to them one by one. So till now, what I have done is I have just defined the company code. We will see the steps slowly, but let's start with the step of defining of this fiscal year variant. Okay. So first I have defined a company code here. Now what I will be going through is I will try to define kind of the fiscal year variant for this company code. How do I do it? So I go to this place, financial accounting. Under the financial accounting, we have the financial accounting global settings. So let's check if you can find the maybe the transaction code to define a fiscal year variant. Can you find out the transaction code to define a fiscal year variant from this node? So this is the fiscal year variant that we will be using. Like this is the transaction code where we'll be defining our fiscal year variant. So let's go in here. Okay, so the financial year can be how can it be? So basically, it can either be a calendar year. Calendar year means what? It's January to December. Okay, or it can be year dependent. Year dependent means what? Like, so you can have, so basically, let's say if you have 12 posting periods, okay, 12 posting period means like you are following the months for the posting period. Okay. And like, let's say for some audit adjustments, like maybe like once, so you post from January to December, let's say you're following calendar year, right? So when you are doing a calendar, when you're following a calendar year, then let's say even after you have completed all your December, like till December, you have completed all your posting, and your audit is, let's say, it's done at the month of March. Okay, so the auditors come and they review your accounts, and then they found like, okay, so this like there is kind of some provision entry which has not been done by you, and so for which you need to do some audit adjustment for period 12, let's say. So then what we will be doing is you will be posting in the special period, right, for those audit adjustments. So those are, so you define the special periods for the audit adjustments and the posting periods for your normal postings as you go through. So you can have a maximum of 52 posting periods where you can define the posting periods by weeks, which is like in most of the cases is not used. The only thing which the most common case is basically you use the month as a period, but you can have few variants on that. So let's say you can have a year dependent posting like fiscal year variant, or you can have a calendar year fiscal year variant. So how does a year dependent fiscal year variant look like? Okay, so let's say I give year dependent fiscal year variant, so where I close my books on the last Friday of each month. Okay, so that means my closing date for each period will change, right? So let's say I define a year dependent variant. So let's say I define as U1. So it's a year dependent fiscal year variant. I tell 12 posting periods are there, and then we have 4 special periods. Okay. And let's say I have U2, which I define as a calendar year, Jan to December. Okay. And I define one more fiscal year variant, U3, which is, let's say, April to March. So April to March, will it, okay, U2 is, okay, not there, good. And U3 is also 12. It's a 3 posting period, special period for adjustment. So now tell me, is April to March a calendar year? No, and it's neither year dependent, right? So let's start with this first. So for the April to March, it's not a calendar year, neither year dependent. So I do not tick anywhere. Now I go to the periods. So April to March means, let's say, these are my months, right? So I can have 12 posting like calendar months, right? Okay, so for January, let's say we have 31 days, February 28, and then March 31, 30 for this, and then 31 for May, 30 for June, 31 for July, 31 for August, 30 for September, 31 for October, 30 for November, and 31 for December. Okay, it is April to March, right? So April is my first period, and then March, May is your second period. So let's, in the same way, we define all the other periods here, and the 11th will be February, and 12th will be your March. Correct. So now, if you have this scenario, so let's say we are following April to March as our financial year, and we are in the financial year 2020 or 2021, let's say. Okay, so we are in the financial year 2021. So then April 2021, April in the month of 2021 will be your first period of 2021, right? Right. So similarly, Jan 2022 will be what? Of 2021. So as you can see, we have a year shift. So when we refer to the financial year, so here we don't have any year shift, right? So it's all the same. Like April 2021 means financial year 2021 as well. But here, January 2022 means financial year 2021. So we put a -1. Okay, so this is how we define kind of a like a fiscal year variant, which is neither year dependent nor neither a calendar year, right? So now let's say if we have a calendar year fiscal year variant. So what we will do for that, we'll just stick over here. Okay. So once you tick on this, right, what you need to do is you need not enter any period for the calendar year. Why? Because system already knows that January is your period one, February is your period two, and so on and so forth. So now the next one that we'll be going through is basically the year dependent fiscal year variant. How do you define that? Okay, so what I've told you right now is in my year dependent fiscal year variant is such that the number of days will change, like for a particular period at every year. So as we have defined, the Friday is the last day. Okay, for each period. So how do I define this? So first I will go here. So as you can see, it changes with every year. So for 2021, I need to define first. So let's do an entry. So same way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what is my last closing date for period 1? 29th, right? Because it closes on the Friday. Very good. And so which is my period 1. So the year shift is 0. So just to give you an example how it follows, so that's the reason we are picking it up. So here, for example, for February, what is the last working day? 26. So this is the closing day as well. Same way for March, we'll try to check. March will be again 26. And then your April will be 30th. May will be what? 28th, right? And then June will be 25th. Let's do it the same way with all the other ones. So July is 30th and August is 27th. 30th and August is 27th. So 7 and 8. Yes, 24th for September. So it is for December, it is 31st. Okay, so what will happen in case it would have ended for December in let's say in 30 like let's say in 28th? How will you handle that? So if let's say suppose it was 28 right over here, so what you will be giving here is period 12. Let's say it is 28th. I will just assume. I will not save this. So I will just save this first. Okay, which is the correct config. And I will just save this. So where it ends on every Friday. Now, let's say what happens if it ends on 31st and it was 28th here. So what I will be doing is here it will go on to period 1, right? So if it's ending on Friday, let's say my 12th period has already ended on some other day, let's say if it was ending on, let's say, Wednesday, for example. So then my last working day would have been 29th, right? So then it will go to the next financial year for the last 2 days, which is 30 and 31. Okay, so which you need to configure as it will be the first period, and it can be the year shift will be +1. Okay, so this is how it works, basically your financial year variant. So at least you got the concept of this is at least like here you define which period it is belonging, which month, and how many days this period will contain, and which period it contains, and whether, and you have understood the concept of year shift as well. So we save this one. So now So now what we have done is we have defined three financial year variant, U1, U2, and U3. Let's say for my company code, I want to use U2, which is January to December, because in US, most of the entities, they follow January to December as the financial year. So how do you assign? So if for my company code, I want to assign any financial year variant, what you need to do is you need to assign the company code to the fiscal year variant, which is OB37. There's some user who is looking into this. So let me. Okay, so I assign the company code to the financial year variant over here. So what is our company code? US 11, right? And if you want to assign this, if we can give U2 over here. So basically it is using January to December, then calendar year US 11, right? So this is the first variant that we have assigned. Okay, so that means what? So this particular company code of mine will be reporting as per the calendar year. So we are where its first period would be January and the last period will be December for financial year 2021. Okay. So now what are the other parameters that we need to define? So whenever we define company code, right? So we have defined a financial year variant, but which are the posting periods? So I've mentioned there are 12 posting periods, correct? So how do you define the variance? Like you need to define, right, which period is open for posting and which is not open, which is closed. So that you define using this posting period variance. So let's say we define our new posting period variant, let's say US 11. Okay, so this is what we have defined. So we have a new posting period variant US 11, which we create. And after this, what we will be doing is we like so what is the step for a variant principle that we have seen? So first you create the variant, you specify the values for the variant, and then you assign it. Okay, so we will assign this variant to the company code. So we have variant US 11 and we assign this to the variant US 11. Okay, so whenever we open or close any posting period variant, it will follow US 11. So how do I do that? I just click on this button, which is OB52. So the first step, creating the variant for the posting period variant is OBBO, and the assigning is done in OBBP. Okay, and the just as we have defined the financial year variant, same way we will define the posting period variant. Okay, so let's try to open this posting period variant. So let's say, so as I have told you, right? So we have different types of ledgers that we follow. One is a general ledger, and then you can have the sub ledgers like vendors, customer, materials, assets, all this. So if you want to define a posting period variant, like some specification for all the GL accounts, you can do it with plus, which is valid for the document header, let's say. So let's say we are allowing the posting at the moment in period 5. Okay, in May, we'll be doing all the posting in period May. And let's say the audit is not completed here yet for 2020. So what I will be doing is I will keep the audit period open, like the adjustment period open for 2020 over here. Clear? And let's start with a very simple entry, like for the GL accounts. Also, I want to define the range. So this is for the entire document. So you will be able to post the document. And for the GL also, I specify, okay, so I will be able to post for this GL in, let's say, period 5. Okay, so for whenever I'm putting kind of an account range, I need to put kind of a range of account, which are, let's say, for my GL, from 0 to ZZZ, I will be able to post in the period 5. So this is what I have specified till now. So what are the two variants that we had discussed? We had discussed about Fiscal year variant. So basically, you have defined what will be the financial year for my company code, and then you have also defined what will be kind of the posting period variant for this particular company code as well, which is basically this step. So we have done OB29, OB37, OBBO, and OBBP, and we have defined the closing and opening of the posting period variants. Now, like in order to post any entry, right, what is the first thing that you need? You need accounts, right? So any transaction will involve accounts. So the list of all GL accounts is known as what? It's known as a chart of accounts. Okay. So let's start with this definition. So first we have defined two things. What we have defined the financial year variant. We have defined the posting period variant. Now in order to book any entry, we need at least the account master. So for that, we start with the chart of accounts. Okay, fair enough. So we just go here and we create a new chart of account for ourselves. Okay, in SAP, we can have three different type of chart of accounts. Okay, but one is mandatory, which is known as the operational chart of accounts. Operational chart of account means like all this account postings and everything you will be doing only in the operational chart of account. But for consolidation purpose, sometimes you have something which is known as the group chart of account or consolidation chart of accounts, which is here. Let me give you some example of this. So let's say your organization has branches in US, India, Singapore, Hong Kong. Okay, so these four places. Okay, so your organization is spread into these four places, and maybe UK. Okay, so now as you have the operational chart of account which are specified for each particular as per the regulations in each particular country. Okay, now let's say in US, right, you have multiple modes of transport. Okay, so let's say you have kind of air transport, then you have land transport, and yeah, so and then maybe rail transport, something like that, which is there. Okay, but when my group headquarters, let's say let's say in Singapore, right? So if they want to look into, they're not interested on looking into the values for this different modes of transport. So you have basically three GL accounts, but they are only interested. The group is interested in knowing what is on the only like they don't want this bifurcation by kind of the type of transport. What they want is basically they want just like a group total of how much has been spent on transport. Okay, so how will you do that? So basically for your group consolidation report, right, they will use some kind of a group chart of accounts, and in the group chart of account it will have only one account code, transport. So when you define all the GL accounts, right, like let's say for air transport, let's say it's account code 1, land transport is account code 2, same way rail transport account code 3. For this one, for the group, it can only have one account code, which is G1. So all your account codes will be pointing to that to this G1. Okay, is this concept clear of the group chart of account? How it works? So if I maintain any particular account, I maintain in English language, and what will be the length of the GL account number? Okay, so this denotes the maximum length of the GL account number. How, based on your requirement, you can define. The maximum length is like generally 10. So this is the maximum length which you can follow. But in case you want to follow kind of a 6-digit GL account number, that is also possible. So that depends on how you want to configure. So let's say I want to follow 6-digit GL account number, and I don't want to have a group chart of account at the moment. So let's keep it blank. Okay, so I have created my operational chart of account. Length is the length of the GL account. Yes, so let's say if I intend to have but like in my organizations, I can have if I have indicate the length as 6, right? That means this will be kind of if you only follow numeric account codes, then this can be the maximum number of account which I can have. Now the same way, if you want to use your chart of account, what will you do? You will assign this company code to this chart of accounts, which is, let's say, in OB62. So let's do the assignment now. So here you see one more thing. When you do the assignment, system is also asking, like there is an option, not mandatory one, for a country chart of accounts. Okay, so how do you use this? So basically, let's say, like all the organization in like in your group, right? They follow the chart of account US 11, maybe across multiple countries. But for some country, right, they have some very specific, like maybe requirement. Let's say where, like even when you are doing kind of, how can I say? When you are doing any kind of check payments, for example, they like they want to have kind of a local checks. They want to have one account, and for international checks, right? They want to have like when you are receiving checks, let's say from your customer for the local checks, they want to have one particular like GL account, and for international checks, they want to have one more GL account, right? As per the country specifications. Okay, so then how will you do that? You can have for your country specification if they need by that way, so you can define the GL accounts over here, like under the country chart of accounts. So basically, we will see when we define the GL accounts, we can define like okay, so this is my operational GL account. Let's say in this case, right, my operational GL account is 1, my group GL account is G1, and maybe for my country chart of account, if they need some kind of split over there, then it can be again something C1. Okay, so that is possible. Okay, so here you can see you can group multiple operational chart of account under one group chart of account. So this is the step that we complete. So we assign our company code to the chart of accounts. Okay. So now what we have done is we have at least done the first step. So we have told like, okay, this is my US 11 will contain all the GL accounts, but you can have multiple types of accounts, right? Multiple types of accounts means what? Like you can have kind of asset accounts, you can have liabilities account, you can have equities, you can have income, expenditures. Then under the assets also you can have kind of fixed asset. Then you can have kind of cash equivalent asset like current assets. So those things are possible, right? So same way you can have a short-term liability, which are the current liabilities, and then you can have long-term borrowings, which are kind of maybe non-current liabilities, which are possible, right? So let's start with those activities. So let's say we start with US 11, and my first account, which I want to define is current assets. Okay, so my current assets will follow from 0, or like let's say it follows from 1 to, I can have maximum range of kind of 6 characters, right? So let's say I use only 4 characters. So that is also possible. So if I have defined my current asset, I also want to define my fixed assets, or the maybe I will not make a fixed current asset, maybe the non-current assets. So this is from 1001 to 2000. Okay, Same way, let's say we are having current liabilities. And let's say if you have non-current liabilities. Okay. Now, what is the next account type which you can have? Equities. Yeah. These are the nominal accounts, right? Which I have. And you can have income, which is okay. So I define this account group in such a way that it will always follow this range. So if I need to define any kind of current asset, it has to follow within 1 to 1000, non-current asset 1001 to 2000, and same way I have defined for all the other types of accounts. So with this, I save this one. Okay, so I have already assigned my company code to this particular chart of accounts, which is fine. So now what I will do is I will try to create a retained earnings account. Retained earning means what? So net of your nominal accounts, right? Net of your income and the expenditure is known as the retained earning. So I have a P&L statement account X, which I have defined. I have not created the account code yet, so I just keep it blank. And I just move ahead with this config. Okay, so now what we'll be doing is we will be going ahead with this GL account creation. Okay, so for this GL account creation, right, there is a T code which is available, which is FS. So, okay, so for GL account creation, where do you see this? So it's a general ledger master data. How will you navigate? So first you go to the first screen, which is SAP Easy Access screen. And under that, you will have the SAP menu. In that, right, you can just go to accounting. Under accounting, what we are doing, we are creating the GL master. So you can go to create GL master records. And here there are options. Okay, so if so the fiscal year variant we have covered. And so it talks about the different types of fiscal year variant. This we have already like learned, right? And how we assign the fiscal year variant is also there. Currency keys, we will come back a bit later on this. And then for the chart of account, we have also mentioned about the three different types of chart of account and how it is linked, the operational chart of account with the group chart of account and the country chart of accounts. And now what we will try to define is we will try to define the GL master data, right? So first we have defined like what is my chart of account, and under this chart of account, what are the type of master data which I am having. So let's try to define the GL master data. First, let's start with the chart of account data. So if we start with the chart of account data, what we see over here is this is how it looks like. Okay, so let's try to create one. So for the equities, okay, let me keep that open. For the equities, what is my range? So it is 4,001 to 5,000. So let's say I want to create an equity account. So either it can be 4001 or it can be any range within that particular range of GL, right? So what is the account group? It is equities. Is it a balance sheet or P&L? It will be a balance sheet. So let's say I call it a retained earning account. Okay, so what it does is basically as a part of your chart of account data, it stores the account type, okay, the account group, and your text, which is the account description. Clear? So you can see that this account is created over here. Now let's say if you want to create this for a company code, you can go to FS00. Okay, so let me change my company code. Let me get the preview of. So we want to see only this mode. Okay, so let's say I want to define this 4001 in my company code US 11. Okay. Okay, so there is something which is known as the field status variant, which we must define. So we had talked about three variants, right? In my first screen here. So we had already defined the fiscal year variant, posting period variant, but we have not defined the field status variant. So what does this field status variant mean? So whenever you try to define any GL, like any posting, right? When like let's say you want to do any posting, so you need to define, right, what are the fields that are required. Let's say you want to specify there will be some kind of transaction text, or maybe some kind of assignment. Maybe you want to specify which department has borne this expense, or what is the amount. You want to specify the currency. All those things are part of the fields that appears in a document. Okay. So now if you want to define the field status variant, how do you do that? So for your document, let's say your, okay. So if you want to understand what is the T code for this, you have that in my worksheet as well. But if you want to know from here, so the field status variant is this one, which is OBC4. So let's say we define our new field status variant. So let's say I have defined a new field status variant US 11. So what does this contain basically? If you see, let's say I define, let's say US 00, all field. So we start with very basic one where we have defined nothing is mandatory, everything is optional. So in the general data, right, for example, we will see in the documents, this will be some fields which are available. So all fields are optional. So we define this particular field status variant. Same way, if you want to use this field status variant, what you need to do? If you want to use the field status variant, so we have defined the variant, what you will be doing next step. So we assign this to the company code. So let's say we go to this company code US 11 and we assign it over here. Okay, so this prepares us to set up the general ledger account under this particular company code. Okay, but remember when we defined the retained earning account, right, we could not define the account code yet, right? So let's complete that step as well. What was the account code that we have used for retained earning? 4001. Okay, but is my account ready in the company code? Yet, not yet, right? Because I have just created in my chart of account, but I have not specified how like how it will look in my company code data. So for that, what I can go do is I can go to FSS0, and here I can create it. So I can see it does not exist in US 11 yet. So I will not be able to use it yet. So let's try to create it. So what as a part of your company code data, you have three tabs which are known as the control data. Well, like then there are some other parameters which is create, or for the bank data you create bank or interest, and the information. Information means like who has created and all those stuff. So as a part of your control data, you specify which currency will be posted in. So it's, let's say, USD currency. Do you want only balances in local currency for the retained earning account? No. And will it have any posting with tax? No. So we keep it blank. And is it a reconciliation account? We will come to know what is a reconciliation account at a later point of time. So we keep it blank at the moment. And if you want to have all as line item, and means like there are some reports where we'll be seeing the line items for posting if there be any manual posting to the retained earning account, which should not be ideal. Now, in the next step, we will specify the field status group. As you know, like this is a mandatory field because we need to specify like for this account, for posting using this account, what are the information that we need to key in. So that is defined under the field status group. So with this, what we do is we just save it. So what you can see, we have created a return and the first account, which is a return earning account over here. Okay. So so still this we are you are very much clear, right? So about the account groups, account defining the return earning account, creating the GL account. So let's create some more GL accounts. Let's say I want to create a current assets account. Okay, but I forgot the range. So how, which is 0 to which is 1 to 1000. Yes, correct. So let's say I want, for my cash account, I want to use this account code 1. Okay. So my first step will be creation in the chart of accounts, right? So if you want to do both at the same time, if you want to create the chart of account data as well as the company code data, instead of going to FSP0 and FSS0 separately, what you can do is you can just go to FS00. Once you go to FS00, you can see all those tabs come in, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's say we create one. It doesn't exist, yes. So first we create this. The cash account, is it a balance sheet account? Yes. Current assets. Yes. Create something cash in hand. And let's say we are holding only USD in cash. Okay. So for the cash account, let's say posting without tax will be allowed, and we tell like any tax category will be allowed. So that is what we define. Is it a reconciliation account? No, it's just like a normal GL account, and we can set it up as a line item management. So there is something which is known as a sort key. So let's say whenever you are doing any cash transaction, right, you also want to stamp the posting date on some field which is known as the assignment. We'll see what this assignment means. So let's say we use the sort key 001, where you sort all your cash account posting by the posting date. Okay. So now for this, right, we have kind of the field status group is G000. Right? Is it there? No, sorry. What was my is US00? Okay. So this is what we have defined. Okay. And is it relevant for cash flow? Yes, it is relevant. So I click on this, and that's it. So here you will see the description in English. If you want to maintain some description in some other languages, you can do it here, and you save this. You have created your cash in hand like account code, and what else? So let's say we want to create one more bank account. Okay, which is 100. So what is the type for then? It's again current assets, right? Bank account. So let's say we have Chase Bank, some bank account which we have created. This is my account code. Other bank. So if it's the bank is in USD currency, okay, so we set it up as this, and that's it's not an alternative account, and it's a line item managed. And also for this bank account, what I want to mention is I also want to track, let's say, my due date, something like that, or the value date field. Okay, so I want to track by this value date field for all my banks posting. And here also, let's say I have all fields that's optional. Okay, so there is a particular characteristics that is we need to understand is whenever we create any GL account, right? Like if a GL account is created in local currency, which is USD, for example, in this case, so then your you can post in any currency. So basically, if it's set up in local currency, let's say a bank account is set up in Euro, right, then you will be only able to post in the currency euro. So that is the thumb rule that you have in SAP. So any account which is set up in a foreign currency, you can post transactions in any currency in that particular account. But when you set up a account in local currency, right? So then you will be like when you set up a currency account in local currency, you will be able to post to that account in local currency as well as the foreign currency. But if it's in the foreign currency, you will be only able to post in that currency only. So that's what we have defined now. So we have saved this as information. Okay. Yeah. So as a part of this, right? So maybe we'll kind of stop our session over here. So so that we don't overload in the first day. So what we have done is we have already started with the defining this company code, and then we have already defined the variants for this particular company code as well. And then what we did was we have assigned the variants to the company code. So let's have a quick review of what we have assigned to our company code. So for the review, right, you can use the transaction code OBY6. Okay, so what was our company code? US11. Yes, right. So in this US11, what you can see is you have assigned the chart of account US11, right? And then the fiscal year variant is U2, and the field status variant is US11, the posting period variant as well. Okay, so that's all we have at the moment. We have not yet gone to the controlling, or maybe we have not set up any workflows, which we will set up later on. And what else? So we don't need business area financial statements. And so that's it. Let's say we do till this part today. Okay. Okay, so what we will have, we have a few more minutes. So what we will just try to finish up is there are two more organization unit that I will try to define. So you have defined the company code, right? So let's say you have presence in multiple geographies, as like this example, US, India, Singapore, Hong Kong, and UK. So how will you define, like like if you, let's say you have kind of interco postings from US11 to GB11, for example. So there you should be having that as well, right? So those are known as, like, if you have those kinds of internal posting from one company code to another, those are known as the internal trading partners. So how do you define the internal trading partners? Using this transaction code OX15, which is also known as a defined company with which you are doing the trade with. So so the company code is the one for which you derive your financial statement, and the company is something which is used for your internal trading. So let's say with this, right, I define my company as US11C, and I can just specify English and currency USD. That's it, and the country is US. So if you want, whenever you are doing kind of a entry, like a trading with this particular company US11, right, you need to assign that, right, to that particular company code. So what you do is you can do an assignment of a company code to a company. So whenever you are trading with US11C, that means you are trading with the company code US11. That is what is specified here. So you can put it in this way. Okay, so we are not studying the credit control portion as a part of our curriculum, but we are studying something which is known as the business area. So what is a business area? Any kind of guess on this? Business area means like the areas of operation. Okay, so if you take the example of Microsoft, right? So Microsoft, what are the things that it like? What are the areas of operation that it has? So it deals with kind of some softwares, right? Which are like the Office products, I would say, which is the most popular product of Microsoft. Then it also deals with ERP, like the Dynamics 365 and all the tools that it has. And also it deals with hardwares. Like for example, Microsoft already have some laptops, it has some mobile devices, all those things are also there. So these are kind of areas of operation for the business. Okay, so you can also set up balance sheet by business area. All those things also are possible. So, and yes, so these are like you can create financial statements as per business area as well, but this will be for internal purposes. Okay, right, correct. So we will generate all our financial statement for US 11. So let's say for US 11, let's say we have a business area like the one which I was telling for. We have a business area for hardware. So hardware HW. So it's a 4-character alphanumeric code. So same way, we can create something US for the maybe the office products, and then for one more thing for the ERPs. Okay, and I will not mention US 11, and I will tell you the reason why. Okay, so these are the 3 business areas which I have created. So now this business area are not assigned to any company code. What it means, right? These are available for the entire client. So let's see, like let's say that what that means is basically you can use these business areas for any company code which are set up in this particular system. Okay, so which also means, like for example, you have presence in this all 5 countries, right? So in these 5 countries, like all the entity code which are there in these 5 countries can use this business area for posting, which is correct, right? Because if you are having Microsoft, which has presence in let's say around 60 countries across the world, right? It can do postings for each of this business area in all these entities, right? So that is what we have defined till now.